Hello, my name is Amy Jo Poffenberger, and I wanted to share with you my multimedia instruction design for the Multimedia Learner course IDT 650 at West Virginia University. The need for the instruction for my idea comes from my plant sale that I have every spring. The plant sale basically funds my horticulture program. I get some money from the county, but not enough to continue with the hands-on activities that we do. So each spring, I have two greenhouses that I fill to the gills of a very wide variety of flowers and veggies and herbs that I sell to the public. With that, I take in consideration the customer's wants, needs, and do my best to fill those each year. It's a struggle for my high school students because they have me for 90 minutes a day, every day, but like one block, 5 days a week. And in the spring, it's really hard because you have snow days and you have all these breaks that are not really consistent. So to get the kids to learn the plants is challenging. When they plant the plants for the first time, they're very small, just little seedlings. And then by the time we're selling them, these plants are more mature. They look totally different. So students kind of forget what they look like versus what they look now. Even though we're in the greenhouse all the time, they don't always make that connection. So I thought if we could create a database or a resource for these students to use to kind of help answer the customer's questions that they need when they come into the plant sale. Hopefully, by creating this, the student will be able to use their own device, and then they can search based off the customer's wants or needs. So if the customer wants a yellow flower, we could type in yellow, and it would bring up the options that we are currently selling that are yellow. If they have an area that's partial sun, it would show that. I would also like for the app to include the price if it's at all possible. I would use this database app. I haven't quite decided what we wanted to do with it yet. In my horticulture classes, I teach different classes, but next semester I have all three levels in one class. They will be grades 9 through 12, ages 13 to 18. Most of my students are female. I do get the occasional male that takes the course. Not that males can't, they just sign up not to. My course is an elective. It is not a required course. With that in mind, it could also be a horticulture completer. In the state of Maryland, high school students have to be a completer of some program to graduate, and horticulture is one of those completers. And in my courses, I do get all academic levels involved. So essentially, this whole database app thing that I'm thinking about is the students will create it. As we transplant and plant these plants, I would have a student, and this student can change daily as we're out in the greenhouse, which was the nice part because then they all have ownership in it. But then that person would be creating this and entering this information into this database. Information that we would put in there would come off the back of the tag that we would use in this the catalog that we ordered the plants out of. That information would be taken straight from there and put into this database. We would have to recreate the database every year, which will be great because it would let every class that goes through the program have that opportunity for learning, and also allow me to update the plants in my greenhouse, which I try to do as often as I can. And then hopefully students will be able to use them during the plant sale right there in real time to help the customer. The rationale for this is that the students are still learning. They're still learning the required information, whether the plants are perennial and annual, if they need full sun, that sort of thing. They don't have to memorize it, but they're learning about it as they're inputting this data in. It is hands-on, and they do have that ownership because it's right there in their hands. Possible platforms and other questions I have for this, and hopefully somebody with maybe a little bit more expertise can lead me in the right direction. I was thinking about maybe doing it in Google Docs and just creating a sheet and then having it linked to all of my kids, and they could download it into their device or access their drive right then and there. I don't know if this will work as an app. I know Google Doc has an app. I know Drive has an app, but I don't know if it's possible to make just the database that we're creating into an app. I'm not sure how that was working. And I was also thinking about maybe naming the app, or maybe naming the Doc Cougar Creations or Cougar Grown, since we are the Catoctin Cougars. Any help and suggestions would be great. Thanks.